Hello and welcome to Raju Notes channel, your pit stop for weekly current affairs updates. The updates tailor-made for students taking all kinds of competitive exams like UPSC, civils, defense and placement interviews. Please subscribe to the channel and stay updated every Sunday.
The Ministry of Jal Shakti, in collaboration with the Ministry of Panchayati Raj, organized the Sarpanch Samvaad National Quality Conclave in New Delhi today. Centered on the theme Viksit Gram Se Viksit Bharat, the conclave brought together 75 distinguished Sarpanches from across 22 states who engaged in meaningful discussions on 5 thematic areas drawn from the localized sustainable development goals. Inaugurating the event, Union Jal Shakti Minister C.R. Patil said that the Sarpanch Samvad application has shown how digital platforms can unite and empower to share solutions that matter at the grassroots. The minister added that the government's aim is to bring all 2.5 lakh Sarpanches onto this platform so that every village can progress together on the pillars of Swachhata and Suraksha. The conclave also announced the rollout of a 100-day Good Governance Challenge on the Sarpanch Samvad mobile application starting from 17th of this month to December 25, observing Good Governance Day. This challenge will mobilize Sarpanch-led campaigns across the country, reinforcing the Panchayat's role as catalyst of national progress. The Central Board of Secondary Education said that 75% attendance is mandatory for students to appear in the class 10th and 12th board exams. CBSE, in its notice, said that students' attendance will now be directly tied to internal assessment, making regular participation essential across the 2-year academic cycle. It added that students who do not follow the mandatory criteria will not be allowed to appear in the board exams. The board also clarified rules for choosing additional subjects. It said that students in class 10th may opt for 2 additional subjects beside the compulsory 5, while class 12 students may choose 1. However, students must study these subjects over 2 academic years. CBSE has also warned schools against offering subjects for which they lack trained teachers, laboratories, or approval, stating that students cannot take such subjects as main or additional papers. The board also issued another clarification for students in the compartment or essential repeat category in additional subjects. It added that students will be allowed to reappear as private candidates for these papers. Railway Ministry has decided that the first 15 minutes of opening of general reservation, reserved general tickets can be booked through the website of IRCTC and its app only by Aadhaar authenticated users from the 1st of next month. Currently, this restriction applies only to Tatkal bookings. The ministry said the decision has been taken to ensure that the benefits of reservation system reach the common end user and are not misused by unscrupulous elements. However, the ministry said that there shall be no change in the timings of the booking of general reserved tickets through the computerized passenger reservation system counters of Indian Railways at present. It also said that there shall also be no change in the timings of restriction of 10 minutes of opening of general reservation, during which authorized ticketing agents of railways shall not be allowed to book opening day reserved tickets. Indian Navy's latest indigenously designed and constructed diving support vessel DSV, INS Nistar, is participating in the multinational exercise Pacific Reach 2025 in Singapore. The Defense Ministry said the biennial exercise that commenced today will witness participation of more than 40 nations. The ministry said that Nistar, as the mothership for deep submergence rescue vehicles, will engage in multinational submarine rescue exercises and subject matter expert exchanges with other participating nations in the forthcoming week. The exercise will mainly be conducted in 2 phases, including the harbour and sea phases. The week long harbour phase will involve in depth discussions on submarine rescue systems, subject matter expert exchanges, a medical symposium, and cross deck visits between the participating nations. The sea phase of the exercise would witness INS Nistar and Submarine Rescue Unit E engaging in multiple intervention and rescue operations with participating assets in the South China Sea. Mega Tinkering Day initiative under Niti Aayog's Atal Innovation Mission has made it to the list of India Book and Asia Book of Records. Niti Aayog today informed that its initiative has created a record for the maximum number of students participating in a tinkering activity in a single day. It said that over 4,73,000 students from over 9,000 Atal Tinkering Lab schools came together to design a solution for Swachh Bharat that streamed online on 12th of this month. During this session, students built their own DIY vacuum cleaners. This record officially was recognized on 15 September. Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi has said that India is on a mission to become Atmanirbhar in the energy sector and is reducing dependence on foreign fuels. He inaugurated India's first bamboo based biorefinery at Golaghat district this afternoon. Addressing a huge public rally on the occasion of the inauguration of the bioethanol plant, the PM said that India will harness its deep water energy resources and strengthen energy self reliance, and this bioethanol plant is one step towards that goal. The Prime Minister has informed that India is among the top 5 nations in solar energy. Mr. Modi also laid the foundation stone of polypropylene unit at the refinery. Earlier in the day, the PM laid the foundation stones of Darang Medical College, Nursing College, and GNM School in Darang district. The PM also virtually launched the construction of a new bridge over the Brahmaputra River connecting Guwahati's Narengi and Darang's Kuruva and the Guwahati Ring Road project from the same venue. As part of a long standing defense relationship with Russia, India participated in the Zapad 2025 military exercise at Nizhny Novgorod in Russia. In a press release, the Defense Ministry confirmed that the contingent of 65 Indian Armored Forces personnel from the Army, Air Force, and Navy took part in the exercise. The Indian Army group was led by a battalion of the Kumaon Regiment. The joint drills led by Russia and Belarus involved around 100,000 troops and focused on improving military cooperation, interoperability, and sharing tactics for conventional warfare and counter-terrorism. The exercise, which concluded yesterday, allowed the forces to enhance their operational abilities, integrate new technologies, and work in a multinational setting. India's participation strengthens defense ties with Russia and promotes mutual trust and collaboration between the two countries. US President Donald Trump has signed a proclamation that will require a new annual $100,000 fee for applicants to the H 1B visa program, aiming to reduce foreign workers in the tech industry. Now, companies that apply to bring in workers from other countries on this visa will have to fulfill the $100,000 per visa payment annually. White House Staff Secretary Will Scharf has said the proclamation will ensure that the people they are bringing in are actually very highly skilled and that they are not replaceable by American workers. Additionally, the Trump administration has launched a premium immigration program targeting wealthy individuals worldwide, offering US permanent residency through expensive gold cards. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick announced the initiative yesterday. He described it as a fundamental shift in how America approaches legal immigration by prioritizing wealthy applicants who can make substantial financial contributions to the country. The US has, for the sixth time, vetoed a draft resolution at the United Nations Security Council that would have demanded an immediate and permanent ceasefire in Gaza and the release of hostages. US Deputy Middle East Envoy Morgan Ortagus said that the text did not go far enough in condemning Hamas or recognize Israel's right to defend itself. All 14 other members of the Security Council have voted in favor of the draft resolution, which described the humanitarian situation in Gaza as a catastrophic and called All 14 other members of the Security Council voted in favor of the draft resolution, which described the humanitarian situation in Gaza as catastrophic and called on Israel to lift all aid restrictions. It comes as the UN's Humanitarian Office warns that the last lifelines for civilians are collapsing in Gaza City as Israel expands its military offensive. The Israeli military launched a campaign in Gaza in response to the Hamas led attack on southern Israel on 7th October 2023, in which about 1,200 people were killed and 251 others were taken hostage. At least 65,141 people have been killed in the Israeli attacks in Gaza since then, according to the territory's health ministry. The United States has announced that it will revoke the sanctions waiver for operations at Iran's Chabahar port issued in 2018. The US Department of State in release said that with this individuals linked to the operations at the port would be exposed to sanctions under the Iran Freedom and Counter-Proliferation Act. The decision will come into effect from 29th of September this year. The US administration said that the move to revoke the sanctions exception was in line with President Donald Trump's maximum pressure policy against the Iranian regime. In May this year, India and Iran signed a 10-year agreement linked to the Chabahar port operations, as part of which New Delhi offered a credit window worth $250 million dollars for infrastructure development at the port in the Gulf of Oman. A Ukrainian drone strike ignited a fire at a major oil refinery operated by Gazprom in Russia's Bashkortostan region, about 1400 kilometers from the front line. Ukrainian security sources said the attack targeted one of Russia's largest refineries to disrupt Moscow's energy income. Footage on Russian social media showed flames and thick smoke. Bashkortostan's regional officials confirmed two drones hit the facility, reporting no casualties. Emergency crews responded as security forces attempted to shoot down the aircraft. Meanwhile, Ukraine recovered 1,000 fallen soldiers' bodies from Russia, according to its Prisoner of War Coordination Office. US President Donald Trump has officially designated Antifa as a major terrorist organization days after the killing of his close aide and right wing political activist Charlie Kirk. Mr. Trump wrote in a post on his social media platform that he is designating Antifa, a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster, as a major terrorist organization. He said the funding of Antifa will be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. Trump did not elaborate on what parameters his administration would use to make the characterization and what actions he would take to target a left leaning movement. Antifa does not seem to have a centralized structure or any defined leadership. The US and Saudi Arabia this week wrapped up the largest counter unmanned aerial systems UAS exercise held in West Asia, underscoring the growing urgency of defending against proliferating drone threats. The live fire drills conducted at the Shamal 2 range in the northeastern Saudi Arabia brought together 20 counter UAS systems in what the US Central Command CENTCOM described as its most ambitious Red Sands exercise to date. The event focused on integrating radars, sensors, and weapons to rapidly detect, track, and destroy modern aerial threats, including drone swarms. Admiral Brad Cooper, making his first regional trip since assuming command of CENTCOM, observed the exercise alongside Saudi Armed Forces Chief of General Staff General Fayed Al Ruwaili and visited the Red Sands Integrated Experimentation Center. Admiral Cooper also met with Saudi Defense Minister Prince Khalid bin Salman. During the meeting, they reviewed the aspects of bilateral defense cooperation and discussed the latest developments in the region as well as their shared efforts to address them in a way that preserves international peace and security, Prince Khalid said in a social media post. South Korea and the United States have agreed for the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. South Korea's National Security Advisor Wi Song-lak today said denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula is the ultimate goal and the target remains unchanged whether North Korea likes it or not. Speaking in Seoul, Mr. Wee reiterated that South Korea would pursue a three-stage plan for the denuclearization of North Korea, saying that it is important to first halt North Korea's nuclear and missile programs. He stressed that the South Korean government has taken a series of measures to ease tensions without undermining security or deterrence by taking efforts to build trust. On the upcoming Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in the South Korean city of Gyeongju, we said there is no possibility that North Korean leader Kim Jong un would attend the multilateral gathering. We said US President Donald Trump is expected to visit South Korea for the APEC summit. India has been re elected to the Council of Administration and the Postal Operations Council of the Universal Postal Union during the 28th UPU Congress held in Dubai. Ministry of Communications said in a statement that India's re-election reflects the confidence of the international community in India Post's leadership reforms and innovative digital initiatives. India has been a member of the UPU since 1876 and has consistently contributed to strengthening of global postal network. The Universal Postal Union, a specialized agency of the United Nations, is the primary forum for cooperation among postal sector stakeholders. The Council of Administration is responsible for policy, regulatory, and governance matters, while the POC is the technical and operational body that drives the modernization of postal services worldwide. India has called upon the world to strengthen and intensify efforts to deal with terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. It said, the world is aware of nexus between terrorists and Pakistani state and military. Replying to a query on latest videos of terror outfits in Pakistan during media briefing in New Delhi, MEA spokesperson Randhir Jaiswal said, such incidents make it more glaring. He said every nation must fight cross border terrorism and terrorism in all its forms. Mr. Jaiswal said in every document that comes out of multilateral forums, whether it is BRICS, SCO, or anywhere else, there is strong support for combating international terrorism and there is also a reference to fighting cross border terrorism. On the Saudi Arabia Pakistan agreement, the spokesperson said India and Saudi Arabia have a wide ranging strategic partnership which has deepened considerably in the last several years. He said India expects this strategic partnership will keep in mind mutual interests and sensitivities. Department of Posts (DOP) and Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited (BSNL) have signed an MOU today in New Delhi to expand BSNL's mobile connectivity across India. The MOU aims to bridge the digital divide, empower rural households with mobile services, and advance the broader goals of Digital India for financial inclusion and socio-economic development. The agreement will make BSNL's telecom services more accessible and affordable, particularly for citizens in the remotest parts of the country. Under this, the Department of Posts will leverage its postal network of over 1.65 lakh post offices for sale of BSNL SIM cards across the country and will serve as a powerful last mile channel for BSNL to enhance its presence in both urban and rural geographies.
Well, that's all, friends, for this week's updates. See you soon next Sunday on the same channel. Till then, take care. Bye bye.